Hey guys, this is the Game Critic, and just today's just a random video before I start making reviews and all that. Um, People have been asking me quite a bit lately about Microsoft's new console, the Xbox One. So what are my thoughts of it? Well, um, I know there are a lot of people on the message boards and all the comment sections on YouTube, and everyone on YouTube making videos about saying how the Xbox One is gonna fail, it sucks, all that crap. Um, they really don't look into. I don't really think they look into the retrospective of Microsoft's two previous consoles. Um, Before I can give an honest opinion about the Xbox One, I have to look back at the two previous consoles that Microsoft has already made, starting with the original Xbox. Well, every single one of Microsoft's consoles have had some kind of problem. The original Xbox did have a lot of different features. It was definitely innovative in the online industry because it was online ready right out of the box. It had an Ethernet cable on the back of the console, so you could hook it up to a modem or hook it up to a phone line for, I guess, dial-up internet. Remember that. Um, yeah, then compared to Sony's consoles, I mean, Microsoft was the big name in computers. They knew it, they pretty much invented internet. They had experience with internet, so they were going to put it to their first console. Sony, on the other hand, they didn't know much about internet. The PlayStation 1 had no internet capabilities. The only multiplayer capability was the multi-tap use for the 4 players. Um, then the PlayStation 2 had the network adapter, which it had okay internet, but it kind of lagged a little bit. Then in 2005 came the Xbox 360. One major drawback, and I think you all know what I'm talking about, the major problem that the original models had, and that was the red ring of death. I remember back in the day, I was at a friend's house, and he just bought the Xbox 360. Called me up, told me to come over and see it. I said okay because I wanted to see Microsoft's new console. I had a slight enjoyment with the original Xbox, but it still kind of sucked. Then we opened it. We opened the Xbox 360 at his place. It's just fresh in the box. All the plastic is taken off. It smelled like new electronics. And then we hooked it up to the TV, hooked it up onto the wall. Everything was fine. We turned it on. 5 seconds later, right after the startup, we noticed a red circle around the power button. We're like, okay, did we hook it up wrong? What's going on here? We looked it up online later and found out that it's a serious problem. The red ring of death. Albeit the original model of the PlayStation 3 had the yellow light of death, but it wasn't very common. With the PlayStation 3, me and my friend at his place, he also bought it a year later, and we played on it. 6 months after owning it, he got the yellow light of death, and we looked it up, and on Sony's website, they said that you could fix the yellow light of death on the console. With Microsoft's console, the Xbox 360, to get the red ring of death fixed, you had to mail your broken console to Microsoft, and about 3 weeks later, you'd get it back fixed, and it would work properly, and then maybe it'd get the red ring of death occasionally, but it would be more rare because Microsoft was trying to put innovations onto their console, and then they released the Slim model, did away with the red ring of death, as the PS3 Slim did away with the yellow light of death. So they were pretty much both good consoles. They played great. They worked properly. And then, so now that I've gotten all that out of the way, now to talk about the Xbox One. Well, they originally were going to call it the Xbox 720, as most of you are probably going to know. Yeah, the reason that most of you probably don't know why they call it the Xbox 720. Um, when you do the math, here, let me get my calculator. I think 360 times 2 is 720. Let's see. 60 times 2. Yep, 720. So it was all a marketing campaign. They were gonna call it the Xbox 2, but when Sony was gonna release the PlayStation 3, they found out, hey, 3 is bigger than 2, so let's just call it the 360. So I guess that's what their idea was. So the Xbox One, its controller, there's not much of a change from the 360 controller, but it looks like a DVD player. Someone could mistake it for a DVD player. Do you want your console to look like a DVD player, or do you want it to look unique? Do you want it to look stylish? I know that's not much of a big thing. You know, it really isn't. But when it comes to gaming consoles, we've already seen stylish gaming consoles like the Atari 2600 with its wood grain finish, and the Sega Genesis, the Model 1 with its sleek style, its good lines, its badass color. Anyway, but yeah, and then the Xbox One, it's square. It's not square, but rectangular. It's bland. It's blech. So I know looks don't. I know you can't judge a console by its looks, but let's take a look at some other gripes I have. First, dumb mistake that Microsoft made. The Xbox One will not be backwards compatible. What the crap? And the PlayStation 4, it's going to be backwards compatible, to my knowledge, with every Sony console. And I've also read online that they're going to make it cross-compatible with PSP and PS Vita games. You got pretty much every Sony console on that one console there. But that's just what I read on the internet. The internet could be wrong. It was just written by some random guy, so he might just think he knows everything. But like a lot of people, they think they know everything, but they really don't. Then the Xbox One. I've also read on the internet, and I've heard as rumors that it's going to stay plugged in. It's going to stay turned on. You can't turn it off unless you unplug it. I don't like that idea much. It's kind of stupid, to be honest. With every gaming console, it has an on and off switch. And from past experiences, when you leave a gaming console on for more than 2 days, non-stop, it will have problems until you turn it off and wait a few days. Like what the hell? What was Microsoft thinking? Also, another thing about the Xbox One that's just kind of off, at the conference, the convention, when at the Microsoft convention, they were going to release it. Upon they unveiled it, and the only applause at that entire convention, you had news reporters, you had other gamers there, you had pretty much the entire internet there, and the only applause was Microsoft executives. People knew that this console was going to fail. I'm not sure how. They didn't even see it, but I guess it's like in their minds psychically they knew that this console was going to fail. Well, you can't judge a console by how it looks, before you even play it. You have to play it yourself. So anyway, what else? They have done away with fees on used games. They're going to just make used games free. Banned Xbox users also won't have their games deleted. Banned just means suspended, for all I know. Like if you've modded your console and try to get onto Xbox Live, they will give you a notification saying your account has been suspended for whatever amount of time, and then but you'll be able to keep all your games and stuff. So, um, but yeah, now the only like, granted, I am a PlayStation fanboy, but just because I'm a PlayStation fanboy doesn't mean I don't put bias on reviews. I will be critical no matter what, if it's Sony or Microsoft. You know, any console or any game for that console or any accessory, controller, whatever. If it has a flaw, I will point it out. You know I may not be perfect, but hey, I may be a fanboy, but I'm not the kind of fanboy that flames and trolls and gets into flame wars. I've already mentioned flame, so yeah, but I'm still not the kind of guy that trolls and flames and fights people and argues with them and tells them to go die in a hole or tells them to go to hell. I'm not that kind of fanboy. I'm just defending my console. I'm just defending my company. Now, I know a lot of you Xbox fanboys are going to say that the Xbox One is going to be revolutionary. It is for pretty much all it's worth. But I think it should start at a low price point because of some of the flaws. If Microsoft doesn't work on these flaws, then, you know, what next? Are they going to drop out of the console market? It's like, so if Sony's competitor is going to be Nintendo, and if Microsoft drops out of the console market, are they going to just stick to PC gaming or something? But still, the Xbox One, you have to see it to believe it. I'm just merely stating my opinion, the facts, also from what I've read online. So yeah, I may be getting a lot of hate from the Xbox fanboys, but just keep in mind, I'm only being critical. I'm just being my usual critic. I'm just cracking down on the flaws, and there may be some good things about the Xbox One in the future. Maybe they release a different model or something, and it'll be better. We just have to wait and see because it's not released yet, nor is the PlayStation 4. They're going to be both released around the end of this year, 2013. So, I guess that's all I have to say. So, thank you for watching, and just stay tuned on my channel because later on I'm going to be making various Game Critic reviews. So, happy gaming, and this has just been a random thoughts video from the Game Critic. See ya.